Hi everybody, it's Tommy Jo from Bird Street Studio. We're going to do a flip through of this journal. This is our Handmaid journal. It was inspired by digitals done by Cheryl Francis Art. But before we do the flip through, I did not do the cover on screen because I was really struggling with it. It literally took me a couple of days to figure out the fabric I want to use, what I wanted to make for a topper. Do I want to go really scruffy, grungy, whatever, or do I want to keep it a little bit more my style, which is a little bit more perfected? And that's the direction I went. I added gold, so excuse me. So this is pretty much all me. I'm going to show you how I did that. But before we do that, when I created the cover, I created a pocket right here, and I want to put something in this pocket. So that's what we're going to do first, and then we'll do a flip through of the journal. So the first thing I need to do is sit down and get some measurements. Okay, it's really cold here today. I'm videoing way ahead, so it's, I don't know, it went down into the 30s. It's like too cold, too cold, too cold. Anyways, okay, let's measure. I want something to show a little bit of this black here. I hope I'm still in camera. So I'm thinking if I measure from maybe from there down, we're looking at about 8 inches, but my stitching goes at about 7.5. So I'm actually going to make something that's about 7 inches, and I want it to stay within the stitching. So I'd say a 5 by 7 might work. 5. Let me see where the closest stitching is. Yeah, it should work. Maybe 4.5 by 7, I think, because what I want to do is make a little folded booklet with some paper in it for notes or whatever. And what we're going to use, I'm going to put this aside. What we're going to use is, this is a page out of our math book, glue book. So obviously there's no backing, so we're going to need to back it. And because it's collage, if we fold it, we're going to have some pieces that come up. So I want to alleviate that. So let me get my cutter. And the first thing I want to do is cut off some of these bad edges. Y'all know I use my cutter upside down. So don't panic. Once we get some straight edges in there trimmed, then I can trim the other square. I'm bundled. I have my sweater on. I'm so cold. My fingers are cold. I'm such a sissy when it comes to weather. Okay, so we said what, 4.5 by 7, so we want 7 tall. So let me see how tall this is. Put out the leg of our thing and let me see. This is a little over 8, so we can take an inch off. So where do we want to remove that inch? Which side? Well, I'm thinking if we go to 7 inches, we could cut this piece right off. I like that. Because when you have small pieces by an edge, they peel. So now we've got it 7, and now we need it 4.5. But 4.5 means that we really need it. We're going to double that because we're going to fold it. So that would be 9. So let's see where 9 falls, right about there. So do we want to cut that end off, or do we want to cut this end off? Let's see. I don't know. I think there's more going on right here, so let's cut this end off. How's that? Now we should be able to just fold this in half. But before I do that, I thought I would use a scoreboard first and get some sort of a, looks like we're a little over 9, so we may need to trim it, but, oh, I want to do it this way. Okay. So at 4.5 would make it about here. This is where we're going to see there's a piece of paper right here. Oh, and this one too is kind of peeling up. So this is kind of what our booklet will look like, minus the rough pages that we need to fix. Pretty cool. Now to fix those, some people would use washi tape. I'm going to use some masking tape if I can find it. I'm going to use masking tape, and then maybe we'll put a piece of fabric over it. But masking tape is, what do you call it, like low tack. So you do need to add glue to it if you want it to be something that's going to be more permanent. So I'm going to use my glue stick. Okay, and then we need to refold this and see. It looks like we might need to use another couple of pieces. Let's try. Because I really want this to hold up well. So and I don't have, if you have the like really wide masking tape, you would need to do multiple pieces, but I don't have them. I don't have that. Sorry for the noise. The pool guy is here. My pool is almost finished, but the guy here is doing the deck, and he's putting the last coat of Cool Top on the deck. And so whenever there's somebody in my backyard, these puppies are just crazy. Okay, now let's try to fold this again. See if that helps. Yes, and then we'll put fabric over it so it will really be nice and secure. The first thing before we do that, we need to collage the inside or cover the inside. Oh, I'm going to need my glue stick anyways. So I'm going to look and see what papers we have. Like I can do design papers, or you know what I found is this is that tissue paper that we ran through the printer when I was checking to see if I could print on tissue. That's kind of nice, but this would be really nice for my sewing journal, so I think I'm going to hold off on that. However, I found a napkin that's pretty, but I don't like that you can see so much all the way through it. So I think what we need to do first is collage that inside. And so I have a bunch of collage sheets. So I have a couple pieces here that I think will match our journal because we've used these inside. And I need something to go over the middle. Okay, so I think I'm going to I think I'm going to do this, and then I will collage on the outside. So do this. I'd rather use larger pieces for this inside so I don't have to worry about like where I used the masking tape to hold down the smaller pieces. Okay, I'm going to trim off the overhang as best I can with wet glue. That looks all pretty good. This right here needs clipped. Okay. And because this is upright, I think I want to make this the front. I'm going to round the corners if I can, because this glue is wet. Nice. And rounding the corners of items in a journal really makes it helpful for them to slide in and out of pockets and belly bands and tucks. So I normally do that when I can. Now, well, I kind of like it this way. And that way this is right side up. You know what we need to do is look at the inside and see which side, because one is warm neutrals and one is cooler neutrals. Let's see what we definitely need warmer neutrals here. If you did cooler neutrals, they don't match as much. So we'll make this and we'll just put that in there. So we need some coffee dyed paper and get rid of these. Let me pull down some coffee dyed papers. Okay, so let's see. So we decided here that this is now 7 by, I want to make it about 4 1/4, and it would, whoops, wait a minute, maybe about 4 to 4 1/4, and we can round the pages if we need to. So we want these to be 7 inches tall. And we know that these are 8 1/2 tall. 7, okay. And this does not have to be exact, and you could just tear these if you wanted. Hold on just a minute, I need to calm the puppies down. Okay, I don't know how long they'll be quiet, but we'll see. Okay, so in order to do 4 1/4, we want to do 8 1/2. Oh, I could have left that all. Oh, well. I could have, these were 8 1/2. I could have just left them that and folded it the other way. 4 1/4 is half a page. Okay, but we didn't do that. Okay, Tommy. So 4 1/4 would be 8 1/2. No, that's how my mind is, guys. I could have just left it the full size and just cut the... All right, so then we're going to fold these in half and see if that's about what we want. Yes. Okay, so now we have this one, which is 7, but we want it to be 8 1/2. Which means we can just cut right there. And we want to just fold it, I think. I think we can just, yes. Sometimes I don't think things all the way through. Takes me a minute. So I'm going to fold these pages and I'm going to round the corners. And I'm using the 1/2 inch round, and you don't need to round the corners. You wouldn't need to round the corners of this if you were making yours. I'm not good at cutting round corners, so see if I can do a couple pages together. Oh yeah, that makes it way easier, huh? Nice. And then we just have this one. The thinner the paper, it doesn't cut all the way through, but at least it gives me a little line, an indentation at the minimal. Oops, that one didn't catch. That makes it easier to trim it off. Yeah, if I try to round corners, I end up with a little kind of a rounded corner with some points in there. I don't know, not good. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I think I want this on the outside, this on the inside. Then we'll do another coffee. No, we got a coffee dyed here. We'll do a craft here and a coffee dyed here. And that'll be our little booklet to go in here like this. Love it. And then I will leave it up to whoever gets the journal or myself for later, whether I want to put any pockets or anything on the inside. but we want to sew this. So I'm going to grab a needle. And do I want to use, I think I will. I think I'll use this thread right here. And let's get a needle out. I don't think it's real important that we measure this, because I can kind of eyeball it, I hope. So what we want to do is I do want to paper clip it though, just to keep the pages together. There and down here. Yeah, that'll make it good. Okay, so we need to thread our needle. We want it to be, I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. 1, 2, you know I don't do 3, I do about 2.5, just to save string. Just over the long haul, if you do that, you can probably get a few more journals out of it, but that's up to you. I'm not going to put any dangles or anything on this, so I don't need it to be extra long. Okay. I need my awl. And I'm just gonna, all I'm doing is, you can't see it, but I'm gonna have this towards me and I'm gonna poke in the middle. Then I'm gonna poke a hole here and a hole down here. These two being about the same distance from the edges. So we already know that this is, if this is, goes from 10 to 17, that's 7 inches. And so I want to do about 3.5. So 3.5 on my board looks like it's about here. Okay. And then I want to go about 1.5 inches from the bottom. And this is not rocket science. It might not be exactly. And 1.5 inches from the top. Okay, that's it. And then this string will get covered when we put the fabric on the outside. So I'm going to go through the center. Then I'm going to come back through this one. It doesn't matter if you come back through top or bottom. And I'm going to go skip the center and go all the way up to the top. Now you could go through the center again, like we could do. Let's do that just so you see it. Some people don't do this. They skip over, which is what I normally do. Then you can go right through the top again. And it's easiest if you keep the booklet closed to how you poked your holes. And then you can come right down here and you want to go through your string on the opposite side. Take your needle out. Now we have, pull it tight and we can make a knot right there. And then another knot the other direction. Phew, sorry. We'll just cut those threads off. Take our clips off. Beautiful. I'm going to put this stuff away. Okay, love it. And then we've got a little booklet. So that we could put some of these I'm thinking that you might be able to go around some of these. By using a little water, it makes it easier to rip. And I'm not real great at it, so sometimes I don't make it exactly. Okay. I'm thinking that we could put this right here. So what I'm thinking is using my glue stick. And I can fill in where I need to get it to stick. You could also use matte medium or hot or Mod Podge on these. I tend to stay away from Mod Podge because I live in a very humid climate and it never seems to dry totally. It gets rather sticky. Oh, I love that. Do we want to carry that over to the back? I might. I just might. Okay, let's see if we can get these cut out. I couldn't put the cap on. I didn't find it on the floor. It must have gone underneath one of my cabinets, so I'll get it after the fact. But I don't think it's in a spot where the puppy can get it. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool if I let it go over that way, huh? Okay, so we need to go down here. A little bit here. A little bit there. And we want to take this around to the other side. So I want it to go like this. Now, if I put lace or fabric on this side, it's going to cover that, but that's okay. Okay. Oop. I can see a little piece sticking out right here. Oh, I love it. Okay, let's see what else we have in here. I put a bunch of stuff in here. We've got some wings, maybe. Let me see. This is a photocopy of a French, this is French text. So I'm not sure where I got that from, if I got it from, I like that. If I got it from the New York Public Library or I'm just not sure what direction I want to go in yet, so that's why I'm trying a lot of different things. I kind of like these girls here that could come down from the top. I kind of like that. Oh, I think I like that one. Okay, we're gonna go with her. So I need to distress. And again, you can add whatever else you want. I'm just kind of doing a very basic decoration here. These girls I got from, I belong to the Digital Collage Club. I bought, a while ago, I bought a lifetime membership to theirs. So anytime they put up anything new, I can just go in and download it. I don't need to store stuff on my computer because I have free access. So it's kind of a cool idea. Okay, so we want to put this maybe there and her there. I like that. We're going to use our glue stick. Oh, and this girl here, I went in, I printed it on white paper, but I went in with my Copic marker E51, and I went all around the outside before I cut her out. So that's why you can see the color go all the way through, because they're alcohol markers. And that way I don't have to worry about fussy cutting. I can just kiss cut and it will blend in with stuff that's neutral, I think. Uh-oh. And then I stuck her down to the page, the glue page. Yikes. Okay. We'll make her work. And we'll just try to peel this page off that we got on her outfit there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and distress around here and silence it so you can't hear the puppy, and I'll be right back. Okay, We want to fix a little bit of the glued edges and see if there's anything that we need to trim. Again, you could go over this with matte medium. Okay, we want to put a piece of lace or something right around the edge, and I think I have I'm just going to look and see what I think, because I thought I could just wrap it, because this is like that double lace where you can actually cut down the middle if you want, and I thought, well, what if I just wrapped it around? So there's the brown. That looks good. Look at the black. Black always looks good. There's the black. And let's pull that gray out again. And let's look at the gray, see what we think of that. Okay, not the gray, even though I like it. I don't think that it has enough gray in it to suit that. And let me just look real quick again. Kind of like bringing the brown into it, so I think I'm going to go with the brown. Even though I love the black on it, I like bringing the brown in, keeping it those warm colors. So we're going to just cut a piece and glue. Let's get my fabric scissors. We're going to just use probably Fabri-Tac on this, and that will, and then this lace will cover up that masking tape. Okay, so I want to put Fabri-Tac I'm going to put it on the edge of this. This lace is so open that it's hard to put glue on there and, you know, like not see it through and whatever. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to try to put some glue on this edge of the book, the booklet here. And then on this trim, it's funny, I have two puppies. One puppy, Sully, y'all know Sully, he's all white. Well, when I got him, he was white with a lot of gray on him, but as he's aged, the gray has kind of turned to an off-white color. And then we'll just dab on here a little bit. Anyway, Sully doesn't, I mean, he'll bark at like birds or squirrels, something like that. Sometimes we'll get a snake that'll crawl across the front sidewalk, and if they're by the window and they see it, you know, Sully will bark at that. I've got to let this dry. I think I want to put a little more glue in here. Sully will bark at that, but in general, if you tell him not to bark, he'll stop barking. Chance, on the other hand, not so much. Okay, so I'm going to stand this up and let it dry a little bit and pick up my mess, and then I'll be right back. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off this lace. And let's move forward with our flip through, okay? So this is, I don't know what kind of ribbon this is, but it's pretty see-through, but it's like a bronzy color, and I loved it. But what I ended up doing was I made the spine of this. It's really funny. It's cardboard, but I made it very flexible. And how I did that was by taking my piece of cardboard and I scored it every 1/4 of an inch so that I could kind of flex that journal a little bit. So it's very flexible, but it is cardboard, like hard, sort of. The front and back, oh my gosh. I just couldn't figure out the material I wanted to use, whether I wanted to use paper on the inside, fabric on the inside. Did I want the stitching to show on the outside, which I did not. I ended up not. So I did stitch the signatures to fabric and then glued it in and then glued fabric over these. So let's do a quick flip through. I've got book corners on the edges to keep those, and I did put a piece of lace right here on either side. I normally don't decorate the back in any way because I like it to lay as flat as possible. So this is a 3 signature journal. Let me measure for you. For those who have not been following us, the outside dimension is 9 by 6.5. It's very thick. The spine, excuse me, which could be a little bigger because it's kind of an alligator mouth, so it could have been a little bigger, but it is about 2 3/4. I probably could have made it 3 or 3 1/4 because if you watch, see how it kind of spreads if the spine was a little bigger, but I didn't want too much space in between them because we filled it up. We filled this baby to the brim. Anyways, so here we go. Flip through of our handmade journal. So when you open it up, we made our little booklet here, and that will slip right in here. And I didn't decorate the pocket because it's got, a design on it already. So signature 1, you know that we added fabric to the front pages of our signatures. And here's a belly band. It's kind of like a cluster, and I just added a graphic in here. I actually took this graphic from I think it's the Met or the New York Public Library, and then I inset Louisa Heinzel's moths on that picture. I have a little tab with a dangle on it with beads. I love these, and these are on each signature. Here's a belly band with a little scrap pad, so you can use this paper that's in here to further decorate the journal. My journals have a lot of space for writing, so. And here's like a library pocket holder with a journaling card, and this one has a piece of fabric that I stitched on. And then the way I put it in, I glued it here, here, and here so that we have a side pocket as well. Trimmed with gray lace. We have a tab, and our coffee dyed sheets are covered in, or excuse me, are trimmed in gold. This is another digital by Cheryl Francis Art. I think it's called Doorways or something. It's just beautiful. This is also one of her digitals. It's a separate one. This is an altered paper clip, and I just put a tag in there. And here's the center of this signature. This is this pocket. It's, let me see if I can stand this up so you can see it. Just a minute. So it's got actually 2 pockets. So it's got this one, and then it's got this one. And then I put 2 tags in there. One there. And one there, and this top one is so, you could add so much stuff in there. This is just a cluster that I added to break up the page. This is a flip out, and in here, I don't know if I can pull this out if I turn it, is a large journaling tag. I guess I should put it this way. And it's trimmed with some gold and some die cuts. But the back of it's blank for journaling. And then this is because this is a flip out, how this works is, as it flips over, this creates a pocket here. So in the pocket, we have a little flip out piece with more notepad or more scrap paper and notepad for journaling. And here's a little pocket you could put stuff in right there. That I have tucked right in there. This is another pocket, and I just used a piece of black paper that you can write on with a white gel pen in there. Something a little different, something. And this one is the book page edges that we stamped on in different colors, and I like to include those in journals when I can, just to break up the page a little bit. Here's a horizontal belly band and a tag. I didn't realize these birds are the same, so I may change that tag to, you know, like flip-flop tags, but either way. And then we're at the end of this journal, and this is just a cluster right here. And then we've got a tag in this pocket, and then this is a coin envelope. You can put something in. And then signature 2, what we did is we put some fabric up here on these bricks, and then we put a new tie on her collar with fabric. It's got gray lace. Here's a belly band, and this one has a cellophane bag with a tag in there. You know what I think? I might switch that out, that one tag. Where is it? Okay. Is it right here? Oh, maybe we'll switch this one. Will this one fit in there? No, it won't fit. But anyways, so this is just a tag that goes in the bag here and then tucks right behind this belly band, which has plenty of room to tuck other things in it. And this is our second tab because it's our second signature, so I moved it down a little bit. Here's another belly band with some die cuts, and it's just decorated. And here's another little pad of scrap paper to use to decorate pages if you want. And I included this digital here is mine from my Etsy shop, like Florentine papers. And then here's an envelope But the way we glued it, we had a pocket here. And then in this pocket, this is one of those little like vellum matchbook, and it's got like odd pieces of paper in it. But it works like a little matchbook. It tucks right in there. I love these. They're so fun to make. Easy to make. Then here's another flip out. And there's a tag in here, a large tag, which is another picture from, I think, the Met or the New York Public Library. And then I put the wings from Louisa Heinzel's moth behind her. And this is actually a vellum crow. And this is Louisa Heinzel's, I don't know what they're called. They look like license plates. I love that digital. Use it all the time. And then that created a pocket here, of which we have another flip out piece with our spare papers and another little pocket. I should look and see if I have little tags to put in those pockets. And then here we have our altered paper clip up here with a tag. This tag I just stamped and added. These were like little clusters, and I had a video where I made these out of some scrap papers, and so I was able to pull that into here. And there's our center. And here's our pockets. These are the two pockets that flip way out, and we've got a tag here and a journaling card in here. And there's another, the doors. I just love those. Here's a little tab cluster. And then we have a vertical pocket. And this was made out of an envelope. So, and it's got a little journaling card in it. It's not really highly decorated or anything, but pretty neutral. And here's another pocket with, I don't remember where I got these. These are so old. I can't remember. I wish I could. Okay, and then this is the last page of this signature, so it's got a pocket and a couple of, and a tag here, and then this is another coin envelope that I made, that we made. And this is the last signature. And this girl, what we did is we added a little cluster here. I stamped on some fabric, used some odd pieces of fabric, and then I put a little bit of lace here on the top of her dress and onto her collar. And then here we just have two pieces of photocopied. These are not originals, they're just photocopied of some letters or text. This is a book front, and I did lace on the back of it, but they're just digitals. They're not real. I don't have a lot of real vintage stuff yet. Plus, I'll tell you, it's really hard when you finally get something that's vintage and you don't have that many pieces of it. It's hard to part with it. I don't know. That's me. I want it in my journals. And here's a belly band with another notepad with some odd papers that can be used. Here's a side pocket with just a little piece of journaling paper in there that I had put some fabrics on. And here's part, you can see this is part of a security envelope. It's inside out. And then there's a tag. Flip out. And then up here is a larger tag to go in there. And that creates a pocket on this side where I put this little piece that has a tag and some paper inside. And I didn't embellish the tag at all. I thought that would be cool. I don't know if you want to put if you use this journal to, you could put picture on there or something. And then here's another altered paper clip with a journaling card. I love this. Center of this signature. And this is again, like, I don't know what you call these pockets. They're so easy to make. We made them on camera in our video, but they're so easy to make. This one I have glued together, but both of these open up. So there's lots of room for storage in these. That's just a cluster, page cluster, and then there's another tab. And then this is an envelope, an old envelope going sideways. There's a tag right there. And another one of the matchbook, vellum matchbooks with the papers inside. I tell you, those are so nice to have, and they're so easy to make. And I love this, just putting a piece of book page that you stamped on right at the edge of a page really breaks it up a little bit, dresses it up. And then back here we have a horizontal belly band with a journaling card. And this right here is a label from my shop. It's vintage labels. A little cluster, and then this is our back pocket, the last page of this signature. And we've got a journaling card and another coin envelope for you to put whatever you'd like in there. And then that's the end of our journal. So thank you guys so much for going on this journey with me while we create this journal. I apologize that I didn't do the cover on camera, but like I said, I was really struggling with it, and it would have been hard to do a video with all of my thought processes and everything I went through to get it on, but I hope you like it. I'm not sure yet. This is going to go on my bookcase, and then I'll make a decision if I'm going to put it in my Etsy shop or not. I can't decide because I just love it, but anyways. So that's my video for today. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to my subscribers, past, present, and future. I really appreciate you guys. And I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.